Everyone seems to reach for chrysanthemums the moment fall arrives. Garden centers fill up with pots bursting with golden yellows, fiery oranges, deep reds, and warm bronze tones, making mums the go-to choice for autumn decorating. But here's the thing, chrysanthemums aren't always the best option. Sure, they provide an instant burst of color, but their beauty is often short-lived. After the first significant frost, many mums begin to fade, wilt, and lose their appeal, leaving containers looking empty and neglected long before winter settles in. If you've ever invested in a collection of stunning mums only to watch them deteriorate within a few weeks, you're definitely not alone. Fortunately, there are plenty of fall plants that offer far more than a brief display of flowers. Some provide striking foliage, others maintain their beauty through cold weather, and many become even more attractive as temperatures drop. They add texture, structure, and long-lasting color that can carry your containers through the entire fall season and beyond. In this video, we're exploring 7 outstanding plants that can easily outshine traditional chrysanthemums in fall containers. Whether you love rustic farmhouse charm, cozy cottage gardens, sleek modern designs, or timeless seasonal displays, these plants can help create containers that stay beautiful for months. 1. Ornamental kale and cabbage, fall containers that improve with cold weather. One of the most impressive plants for autumn containers is ornamental kale and ornamental cabbage. Although they belong to the same family as edible vegetables, these varieties are grown specifically for their incredible appearance, rather than their flavor. Their large, layered rosettes resemble oversized flowers made from beautifully textured foliage. Rich shades of purple, creamy white, soft pink, silver, and blue-green blend together in patterns that immediately stand out in any container arrangement. What makes these plants especially remarkable is that cooler temperatures actually improve their appearance. As autumn nights become colder, their colors intensify. Purples deepen, pinks become brighter, and the foliage develops a striking glow that makes the plants even more eye-catching. While many flowering plants begin to struggle as temperatures decline, ornamental kale and cabbage are just reaching their peak. A light frost often enhances their beauty rather than damaging it. This exceptional cold tolerance is one reason they outperform chrysanthemums in fall containers. While mums frequently suffer once freezing temperatures arrive, ornamental kale and cabbage can remain attractive well into winter and may even continue looking great beneath a light covering of snow. In container designs, they make excellent focal points. Because they grow fairly large, they perform best in spacious containers where their root systems have room to develop. A single ornamental cabbage placed in the center of a decorative pot can create a dramatic statement on its own. They also combine beautifully with companion plants such as ivy, creeping jenny, dusty miller, pansies, and heuchera. One particularly effective design strategy is to place ornamental kale or cabbage in the center and surround it with softer plants that trail over the edges of the container. The combination of bold architectural foliage and cascading greenery creates a lush, professionally designed appearance. Their care requirements are surprisingly straightforward. They prefer cool weather, consistent moisture, and well-draining soil. Containers should never remain waterlogged, as overly wet roots can quickly lead to problems. Occasional feeding with a balanced liquid fertilizer helps maintain vigorous growth and vivid coloration throughout the season. Removing older leaves from the base of the plant also helps keep the display looking fresh and polished. As the season progresses, these plants become even more striking. When frosty mornings arrive, their curled leaves often catch ice crystals, creating the appearance of sparkling edges and adding an extra layer of seasonal beauty. Durable, bold, and visually dramatic, ornamental kale and cabbage are among the most reliable plants available for autumn containers. For gardeners seeking displays that remain attractive long after mums have faded, they are an outstanding choice. 2. Heuchera, the secret to elegant, high-end looking containers. If ornamental kale provides structure and drama, heuchera contributes richness, depth, and refined beauty. Commonly known as coral bells, heuchera is one of the most valuable foliage plants for container gardening. It has a remarkable ability to elevate ordinary arrangements and make them appear professionally designed. Unlike many seasonal plants, its appeal comes primarily from its foliage rather than its flowers, and the foliage is truly spectacular. Heuchera varieties are available in an astonishing range of colors, including deep burgundy, smoky purple, bronze, caramel, chocolate brown, silver, lime green, and nearly black tones. Many feature intricate veining or metallic highlights that become even more noticeable under changing autumn light. Because the leaves remain attractive for months, containers continue looking vibrant long after flowering plants have stopped blooming. Its naturally compact growth habit makes it especially useful in mixed arrangements. Heuchera forms tidy mounds that help fill gaps between larger plants while adding texture and color. It can function as a focal point, a border plant, or a filler element depending on the design. Another reason gardeners appreciate Heuchera is its adaptability. It performs exceptionally well in partial shade but can also tolerate sunnier conditions when temperatures are moderate. This flexibility makes it ideal for patios, porches, balconies, entryways, and decorative window boxes. For dramatic fall combinations, darker cultivars such as obsidian and black pearl pair beautifully with silver-toned plants like dusty miller or lamb's ear. Meanwhile, bright chartreuse varieties create stunning contrast when combined with purple ornamental cabbage or deep-colored pansies. Gardeners seeking a softer, woodland-inspired aesthetic often combine bronze and copper-colored heucheras with ornamental grasses, ferns, and other foliage plants. Compared with chrysanthemums, heuchera offers a much longer season of beauty. While mums often begin to decline after several frosts, heuchera maintains its rich foliage deep into the colder months. In many regions, certain varieties remain semi-evergreen throughout winter. In fact, cooler temperatures often enhance the foliage colors, making autumn one of the plant's most attractive seasons. Care is refreshingly easy. Plant heuchera in a high-quality potting mix with excellent drainage and water whenever the surface soil begins to dry. Avoid constantly wet conditions, as excessive moisture can lead to crown rot. Occasionally removing damaged leaves or spent flower stalks is usually all that's required to keep the plant looking neat. Overall, heuchera is one of the lowest maintenance plants you can grow in seasonal containers. Even a single specimen placed in a decorative ceramic pot can create a sophisticated display that looks elegant without relying on flowers at all. It's a perfect reminder that some of the most beautiful container gardens are built not around blooms but around exceptional foliage, texture, and lasting color. 3. Pansies and violas. Small blooms with remarkable staying power. If any plant proves that size has nothing to do with performance, it's pansies and violas. These compact flowers may appear delicate, but they are among the toughest cool season bloomers you can grow. Long after many summer flowers have faded away, pansies and violas continue brightening containers with their cheerful display. And when it comes to adding charm and character to autumn arrangements, few plants can compete. Their velvety blooms come in an incredible range of colors, including rich purples, sunny yellows, deep burgundies, soft creams, bright oranges, crisp whites, and shades of blue. Many varieties feature intricate markings, contrasting edges and dark centers that make each flower look like a miniature work of art. Some even resemble tiny smiling faces peeking through the foliage. But their true superpower is their ability to thrive in cool temperatures. Unlike many flowering plants that struggle once summer ends, pansies and violas actually prefer cooler conditions. As temperatures drop, they often produce more blooms and maintain their vibrant appearance for much longer. A light frost rarely causes any damage. In fact, many varieties continue flowering throughout late autumn and can persist well into winter. In some regions, they even bloom beneath a light blanket of snow. This makes them a far more dependable choice than chrysanthemums, which often begin declining after repeated freezes. For the most dramatic displays, plant them generously. Instead of spacing them widely apart, group them closely together to create lush carpets of color that spill beautifully across pots, window boxes, and hanging baskets. They pair exceptionally well with ornamental kale, heuchera, dwarf evergreens, ivy, and ornamental grasses. Because they stay relatively low to the ground, they also serve as excellent fillers between larger plants, helping arrangements appear fuller and more cohesive. Maintenance is refreshingly simple. Keep the soil evenly moist while avoiding overly wet conditions. Removing spent flowers regularly encourages continuous blooming and keeps the plants looking fresh. Violas, which are closely related to pansies but produce smaller flowers, tend to be even more tolerant of cold weather and often bloom for extended periods with very little care. One additional benefit surprises many gardeners. In numerous climates, pansies and violas survive winter and return with fresh blooms in early spring, providing a second season of color before summer annuals begin growing. That means a single planting can reward you across two separate seasons. For anyone seeking reliable color, cold weather performance, and nonstop blooms, pansies and violas are among the finest plants available for fall containers. 4. Ornamental grasses, bringing motion, texture, and elegance to fall displays. If you want your autumn containers to look more dynamic and professionally styled, ornamental grasses deserve a place in your design. Flowers contribute color, but ornamental grasses contribute movement. When the slightest breeze passes through them, the entire arrangement comes to life. Their slender blades sway gracefully, plumes shimmer in the sunlight, and the gentle rustling sound adds an extra sensory dimension that flowering plants simply can't provide. Even a light wind transforms them into living works of art. This is one reason landscape designers use ornamental grasses so frequently. They provide texture, height, structure, and motion, all while remaining remarkably easy to maintain. They also fit seamlessly into nearly every decorating style. Whether your aesthetic leans toward rustic farmhouse charm, modern minimalism, cozy cottage gardens, or contemporary outdoor spaces, ornamental grasses add an extra layer of sophistication. For container gardening, compact varieties are often the best choice. Purple fountain grass is a favorite thanks to its rich burgundy foliage and graceful plumes that glow beautifully when illuminated by evening sunlight. Japanese forest grass offers a softer appearance with arching golden green foliage that cascades elegantly over container edges, especially in partially shaded locations. Blue fescue contributes tidy mounds of blue-gray foliage that pair perfectly with cool-toned autumn displays featuring silver plants, white pumpkins, pansies, and dusty miller. One of the greatest strengths of ornamental grasses is their flexibility. They can serve as dramatic focal points in large containers or simply add texture and softness to mixed arrangements. They complement ornamental kale, heuchera, ivy, pansies, and even miniature conifers with ease. As autumn progresses, many varieties become even more attractive. Some transition into shades of bronze, copper, gold, or burgundy, while others retain cool silver or blue tones that contrast beautifully with seasonal decorations. Then winter arrives and their appeal continues. As seed heads and plumes dry naturally, they create striking silhouettes that capture frost, snow, and morning sunlight. Even when flowers have vanished from the landscape, ornamental grasses continue contributing structure and visual interest. For best results, use containers that provide enough room for root development and fill them with well-draining soil. Water consistently during establishment, but once mature, many ornamental grasses tolerate dry conditions surprisingly well. Maintenance requirements are minimal. Simply trim the old foliage back in late winter or early spring, before fresh growth emerges. No constant pruning. No endless deadheading. No complicated maintenance routine. Ornamental grasses do far more than fill empty space. They add movement, texture, and atmosphere that elevate container displays from ordinary to extraordinary. Combined with cool season favorites like pansies, ornamental kale, or trailing ivy, they create autumn arrangements that remain attractive throughout the coldest months. 5. Heathers and heaths, evergreen beauty for the coldest months. While many garden plants begin shutting down as winter approaches, heathers and heaths are just beginning their season of beauty. These compact evergreen shrubs may appear delicate, but they are among the most resilient plants available for cool weather containers. Even when surrounding gardens become dull and dormant, they continue supplying color, texture, and life. Their delicate bell-shaped flowers appear in shades of pink, lavender, magenta, and creamy white, creating a soft and enchanting display that feels perfectly suited to the season. Yet their blooms are only part of the attraction. The evergreen foliage is equally impressive. Depending on the variety, the needle-like leaves may shift from green to bronze, copper, crimson, gold, or deep burgundy as temperatures decline. This constant seasonal transformation keeps containers looking dynamic and interesting throughout autumn and winter. One reason gardeners love these plants is the atmosphere they create. Heathers and heaths instantly bring a woodland feel to containers, evoking images of mountain landscapes, forest clearings, and cozy autumn retreats. They pair beautifully with ornamental grasses, trailing ivy, dwarf conifers, pine cones, pumpkins, and rustic seasonal accents. The combination of different textures helps create containers that feel rich, layered, and professionally designed. Cold tolerance is another major advantage. These plants handle frost exceptionally well and continue looking attractive even through freezing temperatures and snowfall. While many seasonal flowers collapse after hard freezes, heathers and heaths maintain their form, color, and visual appeal. For optimal growth, plant them in acidic, well-drained soil and maintain consistent moisture without allowing roots to remain saturated. Adding a layer of bark mulch can help conserve moisture, protect roots, and reinforce their natural woodland appearance. One particularly effective design strategy is combining several varieties with different foliage colors and bloom periods within a single container. This approach extends seasonal interest for months and creates a display that evolves gradually from early fall into the depths of winter. Placed near front entrances, patios, pathways, or porches, these evergreen shrubs create a welcoming atmosphere throughout the colder seasons. Even after a snowfall, their colors and textures continue standing out against the winter landscape. For gardeners searching for containers that remain vibrant long after traditional flowers have disappeared, heathers and heaths are among the most dependable and rewarding choices available. 6. Sedum, a tough and beautiful plant that thrives on neglect. When it comes to easy care plants that never seem to disappoint, sedum sits near the top of the list. Often called stone crop, sedum is one of the most dependable choices for fall containers. It handles challenging conditions with ease, asks for very little attention, and continues looking attractive long after many other plants have faded for the season. As a succulent, sedum stores moisture in its thick, fleshy leaves. This built-in water reserve allows it to withstand dry periods far better than most container plants. Miss a watering? Sedum rarely complains. A sudden cold snap arrives. It keeps growing. Strong winds, chilly nights, and unpredictable autumn weather have very little impact on its appearance, making it one of the most reliable plants for seasonal displays. Among the most popular varieties is Sedum Autumn Joy, a standout plant famous for its broad clusters of tiny star-shaped flowers that gradually transform in color as the season progresses. The blooms typically emerge in soft shades of pink before deepening into warm copper, rose red, and bronze tones as cooler weather settles in. By late autumn, the flower heads take on an entirely different character. Their dried forms become sculptural features that catch the warm glow of evening sunlight and add remarkable texture to container arrangements. One of sedum's greatest strengths is that its beauty doesn't end when flowering stops. The dried seed heads remain attractive throughout winter, providing visual interest even after snow and frost arrive. Many designers intentionally leave them untouched because they contribute structure and seasonal charm long after other plants have disappeared. Sedum also brings excellent architectural qualities to mixed containers. Its upright stems and rounded succulent foliage create a strong visual framework that balances softer companions such as ornamental grasses, trailing ivy, or colorful pansies. For especially striking combinations, pair sedum with ornamental cabbage, heuchera, dusty miller, pumpkins, decorative moss, or natural stone accents. Together, they create displays that feel both rustic and sophisticated. Another reason gardeners appreciate sedum is its simplicity. It performs best in full sun and sharply draining soil. In fact, excessive fertilizer or overly rich growing conditions often cause weaker stems and less attractive growth. Sedum generally thrives when left alone. Provide occasional watering, plenty of sunlight, and good drainage, and it will reward you with months of dependable beauty. Its combination of durability, texture, and seasonal color makes it one of the smartest additions to fall containers. For gardeners who want displays that look elegant without requiring constant maintenance, sedum is difficult to beat. 7. Dwarf evergreens, the foundation of year-round container beauty. If your goal is to create containers that remain attractive well beyond autumn, dwarf evergreens deserve serious consideration. Unlike seasonal flowers that fade after the first hard freezes, these compact shrubs provide structure, texture, and greenery through fall, winter, and often well into spring. Snow, frost, wind, and freezing temperatures rarely diminish their appeal. That reliability makes them ideal anchor plants for container arrangements. Popular choices include dwarf Alberta spruce, compact boxwood, juniper, and miniature arborvitae. These evergreen favorites have earned their popularity because they remain attractive in virtually every season and require relatively little maintenance. Some varieties grow into elegant pyramidal forms that add height and structure. Others develop dense, rounded shapes that bring balance and fullness. Certain junipers even spill gracefully over container edges with blue-green or silvery foliage, adding softness and movement to the display. The wide range of textures and colors available, from rich greens to cool blues and gray tones, adds depth and sophistication to outdoor spaces throughout the year. One of the most appealing features of dwarf evergreens is their incredible versatility. They fit seamlessly into almost any design style. Placed in sleek contemporary containers, they create a clean and modern appearance. Positioned in rustic wooden planters or aged terracotta pots, they instantly contribute warmth and natural charm. Their adaptability makes them easy to incorporate into changing seasonal displays without replacing the entire arrangement. And this is where they truly shine. Think of dwarf evergreens as the permanent framework around which seasonal container designs evolve. In autumn, they pair beautifully with ornamental kale, heuchera, pansies, pumpkins, and cascading ivy. As winter arrives, those seasonal accents can be replaced with pine cones, decorative branches, berries, and festive lighting. When spring returns, the same evergreen becomes the perfect backdrop for tulips, daffodils, violas, and other seasonal blooms. The evergreen remains in place while everything around it changes. This approach keeps containers looking full and intentional throughout the year rather than empty and neglected during the off-season. Another major advantage is ease of care. Once established, most dwarf evergreens require only moderate watering and well-drained soil. As long as their roots are not sitting in constantly wet conditions, they tend to be very forgiving. A light trim every spring is usually enough to maintain their shape and density. Beyond that, they largely care for themselves. Because they retain their foliage year-round, they continue bringing life and color to porches, patios, entryways, and walkways, even during the quietest months of winter. One of the most effective ways to design containers around dwarf evergreens is by following the classic thriller, filler, spiller concept. The evergreen serves as the thriller, providing height and acting as the main focal point. Surrounding plants such as ornamental cabbage, heuchera, or pansies function as fillers, adding color and texture around the base. Trailing plants like ivy or creeping jenny become the spillers, cascading over the container edges and softening the overall appearance. This simple design strategy creates balanced, professional-looking arrangements with very little effort. Perhaps the greatest benefit of dwarf evergreens is their long-term value. Instead of starting over every season, gardeners can build new displays around the same evergreen foundation year after year. They provide consistency, structure, and elegance regardless of weather conditions or seasonal changes. While chrysanthemums often receive most of the attention during fall, dwarf evergreens are the plants quietly ensuring that containers remain attractive long after seasonal blooms have disappeared. Reliable, timeless, and endlessly versatile, they serve as the backbone of beautiful four-season container gardens.